everybody, and thank you for being here. My name is Kyle Niemeyer, and I'll be your host for the DBAT podcast. Before we begin the episode, I'd like to make you a promise. Each and every episode, I promise to make them better, higher quality, more entertaining content. And in return, I'd like for you to make me a promise. Please like, interact, leave a comment, subscribe to our videos. The more that we can have you involved, the better the channel and the episodes can be, and the more we can evolve. So thank you and enjoy.
Yeah.
So what I'm kind of hoping to do is really just get your backstory. I want this to be more of a promotion for like DBAT Bowling Green.
Sure.
But whatever you want to talk about, I feel like we can, like all sorts of different stuff could lead the way. So first off, welcome in, guys. This is episode 2 of the DBAT podcast. I know people are thinking, okay, well, there was episode 0. Yeah, what happened to 1?
We skipped it.
I want you guys to comment. I want you to guess who you think episode 1 will be. But for now, episode 2, we are here with Seth Johnson.
Hello. Thank you guys for having me.
So, Mr. Seth, could you, for the people, introduce yourself, tell you what you're all about?
Absolutely. Well, like you said, my name's Seth Johnson. I'm the GM at DBAT Bowling Green, Kentucky. So me and Kyle here have similar jobs in the DBAT world. But yeah, I alongside running a DBAT location, I try to dabble in stuff like this with social media and everything. I try to have a little fun with it in some not so much downtime that we have at our place. But yeah, I try to have a little fun with it and staying in the baseball and softball world. So
cool. Well, we'll get into the juicy stuff, so don't worry. We'll talk about the social media stuff because it is juicy. I'm curious, how did you end up as general manager at DBAT Bowling Green?
Absolutely. Man, we did not have a DBAT in my area when I was kind of going through high school and everything, and I'm sure most places are like that because it's kind of just boomed these last 5-6 years or so. But I was actually out of college, just kind of a work from home remote job, and I got curious. I was on Snapchat scrolling through some stories, and I had a buddy that I played college with post, and he actually worked and was an instructor at one of the ones in Atlanta. So he worked at the DBAT in Buckhead, Atlanta, and so I just got curious. I was like, man, I wonder if they've got anything like that around here. In the Bowling Green is in the southern Kentucky area, just across the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. So our closest city, big city anyways, is Nashville.
So you drove, I guess it would be up here today. How far are we?
So from here, I mean, anywhere from right about the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
So it's nothing crazy. I actually, not to get off completely what you asked me, but our owners also own the Murfreesboro, Tennessee location. And I usually drive down there about every other week for meetings down there, and it's about an hour and a half from Bowling Green. So this is honestly kind of a regular Tuesday trip for me anyways. So
yeah, you're doing a lot more traveling than I do. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And I try to, one thing I want to do in the future is try to visit more DBAT locations. Because like, Kyle and I talked earlier about that network of having other locations behind you and just kind of feeding off each other on what we do. But not to stray too far from that, whenever I actually looked up, you can go on there and look up DBAT locations, and I'm sitting there, I think it was in April or May of 2022. I'm sitting there, I've got a remote, just a call center job, taking some stuff, and had a little downtime. I was like, I wonder if there's any close to us. So it said DBAT Bowling Green. I kind of looked at it and I was like, if there's a DBAT in Bowling Green, I would know about it. Because I live about 20 minutes south of Bowling Green in a smaller city, but we go to Bowling Green for everything as far as eating and shopping and everything. So I just happened to, I put in an application. I was like, well, I guess it must be there. So
was it Indeed?
So it was through the DBAT website.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
It was on the shout out to dbat.com/jobs. Okay. If y'all need a job, let us know. Yeah. But no, I put it in, and I mean, probably a couple days later, the guys reached out to me and was like, hey, we're not open yet. So we're looking to kind of fill the team, and it was going to be something. I was just going to do lessons, just be an instructor. So I started out, and looking back on it was probably I mean, obviously it worked out, but I completely quit my other job and just dove into trying to give lessons, and it was very tough to start out, especially new location, new instructor in the area. Those first few paychecks were not very fun, but anyways, no, we opened up in July of 2022 at DBAT Bowling Green, and some moving parts around our original GM moved out of it shortly after we opened. So by October of 2022, so we had about 3 months, they moved me into an AGM spot. So it was a little bit more secure than being able to just do lessons. So after that, 2 years later, the GM that moved up the first time, he moved out of the building, and then I kind of slid up into the spot.
So what was that transition like? So starting there as an instructor, right? Then moving into the AGM role. And then I kind of want to tie this into maybe what you did before DBAT, your jobs that you were working, your ball career.
Sure.
The things that you were doing that maybe have prepped you to now to where you're the general manager. What do you think was the biggest transition? Let's start from instructor to AGM. What was the biggest change?
Man, I think I had some form of management leadership in prior jobs, so it wasn't something that was necessarily foreign to me. So I think the biggest change was communicating with the clientele further than what I was doing with lessons, lesson takers. So rather than just talking with the parents of the kids I'm giving lessons with, now I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the transition period there. But honestly, at the end of the day, and you know as well as I do, this and the atmosphere that we try to build within the building is very fun. So it's like it wasn't hard kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like this is something that I would never have thought that you could make a career out of doing something like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't as hard as a transition as what it may have sounded like. But
So for your ball playing career, so that transition into an instructor, and even between there, so would you go into a little bit of specific on what you were doing before DBAT and maybe the skills, because you said you were in some sort of managerial role?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and to tie it into playing, so I actually only played about a year and a half, 2 years in college.
Yeah.
And then I just moved back home to finish up school at the local college, Western Kentucky University. Shout out the Hilltoppers. But just finished up school as a student there.
Yeah.
And while working, just got a job, a college job at Walmart, just working as a cashier. And it's funny because, I mentioned this kind of stair-stepping into this position. It kind of worked out the same at Walmart. So like I started out as a cashier, moved my way up into they call it a team lead position. So I was kind of a manager spot, one of 6 people over the front end of the store.
Yeah.
At the time, they had called it just a customer service manager.
Yep.
So I'm the one, overlooking the cashiers, the service desk.
Well, how many people do you think you were interacting with in terms of like team? How big was the team size?
There was probably at any given point, at least 20 or 30 people at a time. So it was one thing where that was probably it was a much tougher transition.
Yeah.
As far as, I think I was 19 years old, 19, 20 years old, and I've got a leadership position that, I'm telling 30, 40-year-olds what to do, and you kind of had to earn your spot there, I guess. And
you might that say, would be a weird dynamic.
Yeah, and you might say just Walmart, but there's so much that goes into a business like that. So many behind-the-scenes things that people don't see. So that's kind of where the management, customer service side of things came before DBAT. So
I like to deep dive into those style of businesses because Walmart, a juggernaut.
Yeah.
Right? So they got to be doing something right. And like a look behind the scenes on how they put together their staffing and like their culture and how they manage, I think would be very interesting to see how it transitions to how you could potentially run a front desk or a team at DBAT.
Absolutely. And I think it all falls back on just making those connections with the people. Even at a place like Walmart, you still see your regular people that come in, some on a daily basis, but I think it could fall into as well, like Walmart is a tough place because they have it's a very high turnover rate.
Yeah.
You know, somebody will start there and be gone. So I think a big part of being at a place like that is training.
Yeah.
And something you and I have to do as well with training our desk people. So I think as far as the leadership role, I'd like to think of myself as kind of a monkey see, monkey do type thing. Like if I try to set an example for everybody else, I probably do more than I should. But you know, I think that's how the two can kind of correlate. And I feel like I learned a lot of the training aspect and teaching per se, as far as you know, your personnel goes and everything.
Yeah. So I guess last time on the introductory podcast, we were kind of talking about like what audience this might be for. So two general managers talking here. Maybe for the owners to kind of look for what sort of pedigree in the background. I think this is all kind of developing, and what kind of might shape the characteristics or the skill set of what a general manager might look like. And one thing that we were kind of stepping backwards. I want to go even one step further back, and maybe two, right? Because this can tie into what DBAT's all about. So whenever you were playing, what position did you play?
So in high school, kind of like most everybody, I just kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
I was recruited as a pitcher though.
Yeah.
So I pitched a little bit of in Division II. Shout out to the University of Montevallo in Alabama.
Okay.
So I went down south to play some ball, and it was a not weird, but I guess tough transition as far as becoming a PO for me. I'm used to
hit some dingers?
I want to hit and I want to be out on the field at all times kind of thing. And I think that's the biggest transition going from high school to college. And I think something that could be a whole episode in and of itself is I was a victim of the yips.
Oh man!
In college, so college started out. It was pretty hot as a freshman. I pitched opening weekend, came in relief, did pretty well. So I actually earned at that time the midweek spot.
Okay.
Started our first midweek game. Things started pretty good, and after that, don't know what happened, to be completely honest with you. So it kind of fell off as far as production, on the field.
Okay.
So again, this could be a whole episode.
I mean, hey, but we got some time.
It was tough. Not gonna lie. As a 18, 19-year-old kid, in a completely new spot. No, you didn't know anybody, and it was one of those things where at the end of the day, that's a big reason why I stopped playing.
Yeah.
So it's. I know we kind of went off track there, but it's
man.
That's kind of the playing career, anyways. Went there, and that's why I say a year and a half, 2 years, because that freshman year off to a hot start, kind of died off at the end. Fall ball of sophomore year, it was kind of the same as far as just the ball felt so foreign in my hand when throwing. It was a crazy feeling, and then didn't play that spring semester. And then came home to WKU and finished up school. So that's kind of where the playing career left off. And I think I've made a video on it before, kind of going into some more detail. But
okay, well, check that video out.
Yeah,
we'll link it. That's really interesting. What do you? So tell me. So what was the form of the yips? Because I've seen some pictures, they can't throw it the first. What?
So for mine, it was Rick and Keel. All over it. I just could not throw a strike, to be completely honest. Whenever I would step on the mound, instead of 60 feet, I felt like I was 200 feet away. Yeah. And even then, and not to boast or anything like that, but I think my final freshman fall, our final inter squad, I'm sitting high 80s, low 90s throwing. Yeah. And then in a outing where I felt like I couldn't throw very well, I would be like high 70s. So it was one of those things I would almost just try to aim and push and throw strikes, but it was crazy, man. It was a weird time and weird experience.
So in those instances, was it a breakdown of mechanics? Was it more of I think
it was all up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had to have been all mental, because for me, it was even like when I went home on Christmas break. Yeah. and even the following summer break. It was, let me go back to the high school field.
Yeah.
Something familiar. I even had my old throwing partner buddy, meet me out at the field and throw, and it was still a little weird, and things got better. And but then when I got back to school, and I don't know if it was pressure, freshman year, that kind of thing, and just getting in my head. And I think it was all mental. It had to be, because at that point, mechanics and what you've done thus far is what got you there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if it was that transition of, and we all go through it as, I guess collegiate players, is, from being the guy to now just, another person on the team kind of thing. That might have played a role. Again, it's because now I can go even at our location. Don't anymore in the past year or so, but I've thrown some live ABs at work before, and I've been fine doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was a comfortability aspect, and again, all up here. So I think, anyways.
Yeah. That's super interesting. So I played D2 ball as well. So University of Southern Indiana. And I was trying to think, because we're probably a few years apart.
Yeah, and if you have not seen episode 0, go watch. I tried to watch as much as I could from it, and it's funny. I know you said USI, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 27. I'll be 28 this year.
Okay.
But obviously things have changed so much in the past 15 years. But when I was playing and starting to kind of go around for travel ball and everything at 15, 16, we would play sometimes at USI, and I wanted to go there. And I know that they were, D2 national champs.
Yeah.
And I loved, even my grandparents at the time who would take me to the games, and they were like, we love this campus. It's beautiful. And that was kind of a goal of mine. Because I graduated high school in 16. So, we were playing those tournaments in 14, 15. So, around when.
Yeah, I was going to say, we won in 2014. Well. Yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? So, Bowling Green is not very far from here. Mm. And USI, I mean, now USI has turned D1.
Right.
And I'm hoping that program, there could be some really big potential for that program.
Yep.
Well, that's quite an interesting story.
So when you said that, I was like, man, I wanted to go there whenever I was going through high school. Because I mean, you talk to yourself, and not to downplay any kind of Division II baseball, because there's good baseball all over the place. But you got to be real with yourself at a point.
Yeah.
Like I'm close to Nashville. Obviously, I want to go to Vandy, but like I'm not going to Vandy. So I was like, man, this place down the road in Evansville is pretty nice. I wonder if we can maybe do something like that. But so it was always that was a place of interest for me to go. And then I saw where you went there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So all right, so that was a little bit of high school, most of the college stuff, and I could imagine that sort of turmoil like on the field, like in your professional career now, making it through different challenges and things like that. You're like, I have dealt with things that this is just this is cake. So further back, and this is where I want to kind of bring DBAT into the conversation. So playing as a kid, had you ever been into a DBAT as a kid?
No, man. And honestly, again, I had never really heard about DBAT until I saw my buddy's story on Snapchat that day of him working at the one in Atlanta. Yeah. So it's like, I wasn't even a lesson taker, to be honest, whenever I was growing up.
Did you have any facilities around Bowling Green that you were in?
We had maybe one or two guys that would give some lessons, and it's actually crazy. This is, we're just giving you all the tea here today. A full circle moment. So while I did not really do lessons, I was on this travel team when I was younger out of the Bowling Green area. It was the Kentucky Bearcats. Okay. And as we were, 10, 11, 12, and granted, again, travel ball is nothing now like it was back then. So we were not going very far to play travel tournaments. It was really just, buddies and playing that kind of thing. But beside the point, we actually had like some group training stuff with a guy in the Bowling Green area. And it would be, so we have this gym, it's called the Total Fitness Connection Gym. Okay. And it would have the gym in the front, kind of in the back. It used to be some indoor turf area. At one point it was indoor tennis courts. And then the very, very back, there'd be like 2 cages where some guys would do some lessons and some stuff out of there. So we went there as a team to, get some team instruction together.
Yeah.
The reason I say full circle moment is because that is now where our DBAT is. The gym is in the front, and our DBAT is in the back of this building.
That's great, man.
So I took lessons out of this place.
Out of the future DBAT.
Out of the future DBAT that would come down the road, 10, 12 years later.
And lo and behold, general manager now.
It's it was kind of crazy just to see kind of what it looked like beforehand, and now the DBAT effect on it. So it's been pretty cool being able to circle back and be able to do that. So
knowing what you know about DBAT now, as an adult, as a general manager, been the AGM, been an instructor there, played a number of years, I always kind of retroactively put myself in my kid's shoes.
Sure.
And looking at facilities that I've been in and wishing that I had a DBAT. What do you think? Because this podcast, we're trying to reach the biggest audience that we can. Maybe some of you have never heard about DBAT before. And what do you think really separates these facilities? Because every facility, when you walk in, it's going to feel familiar. So every DBAT location, I think we were pushing 200 now, over 200?
Yeah, I think it's over 200 now.
They're all going to have a feeling. It's all going to be set up similar. What do you think, in your opinion, really sets DBAT apart from other facilities?
Man, honestly, thinking back on just having a spot to go where you feel comfortable going, and everybody there is kind of on the same page. So in talking about that, there wasn't anywhere around there that you could just go and hit and go and rent cages or whatever. It was always, a guy might have an indoor place where he gives lessons out of, but that's his spot. It wasn't open to the public type thing. So I know that, my parents would take me to a bowling alley that had 2 cages in the back. You could hardly see anything. They used the little sponge balls that would tear you up.
The yellow dimpled balls.
And it was like, one, I can barely see the ball coming.
Yeah.
And in here, obviously, we have impeccable lighting and everything to where I'm going to be able to see everything. I can come in and have a lot of fun too. And I know we've talked a little bit about some personnel stuff, but I feel like each DBAT tries to create that environment of a comfortability and just having fun, that kind of thing, and a good safe space for parents and players.
Yeah.
So.
When I was thinking back, so the facilities I had gone to and were in my childhood, it was few and far between, right? So we had our schools, we had our leagues where we would go to practice with the teams and things like that. But I always thought if like a DBAT was around and I was able to get a membership as a kid, just going on in there just for the perks of the pitching machines, and then seeing guys work, like we have instructors who are over there like giving their lessons and being able to be around players and hear different ways of approach on how to swing a bat, how to throw a ball. I don't know the ripple effect, but it's got to be big.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So just like the different takes, the different personalities that think about baseball differently, who have seen different things, and I really think that's what like sets DBAT apart, is like you get that mix of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always tell people too, and kind of 2 points here. One is you always get the parents coming in, and even I've said it myself, I wish we had something like this whenever we were going through.
Yeah.
And then on another note, we try to pitch to our people, and I'm sure y'all do too, but it's like we're not in here competing against each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if I have people that come in doing lessons with one person and then somebody's in the next cage, they might be teaching something completely different. They might be on the same page. A lot of stuff is very similar, but I'm like, if you come to our DBAT location and let's say you might not like what you're seeing out of an instructor, try somebody else in the place too. Like we're not here, you're not gonna step on any toes as far as our people. And I feel like a lot of DBATs create that environment to where everybody's on the same page. We're not competing over clients or anything like that. So because you can feel when there might be some tension between a cage right next to each other. Let's say we've got 2 competing teams next to each other, but that's not the case at a DBAT. I don't think it's everybody's on the same page. We're having fun and.
Yeah, I think people can recognize DBAT well enough. It's large enough that we're able to bring people in, and so the instructors don't feel like, oh man, I have to like nab and lock down this lesson, or else I'm not going to make it. I mean, it does take a while to build a book of business with your lessons and things like that. And I think that's a big part of our job, right? Is so we need to bring people in, and because DBAT has a person like that, the instructors feel like, okay, there's a big enough pool of players that are in the doors that I can talk with new people, I can get new lessons, and it's a little bit of a comfort, like they become comfortable seeing that day in and day out. So let's go back to DBAT Bowling Green.
Sure.
So I've seen your videos on social media. I kind of get the layout.
Yeah.
So how many cages are in your facility?
So we have 13 total. When you walk in, we have 4 different machine cages. One is going to be with the hit tracks in it. So 4 machines. We have one it's our cage number 5. It's a big utility cage. We've got a hack attack in that cage.
All right.
That's the one the instructors like to fight over because it's the biggest one, And then we've got 2 full-length bullpens. So that's cages 1 through 7 on one side. Our other side is cages 8 through 13. Those are the ones we'll open up to do our camps, our clinics, and everything like that. So 13 total cages. We actually have a little bit of an upstairs area as well for like a little mezzanine kind of overlooking things.
Yep.
We don't have as good as a little party room like this, but we'll host
DBAT
the parties.
podcast.
Yeah, I know, right?
Studio.
We'll host the birthday parties and team stuff upstairs, kind of where they've got their own space tucked away. So, to answer your question, 13 total cages and a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. So 4 pitching machines. So with like your lessons and your walk-in, what does your makeup in terms of lesson look like, baseball versus softball?
I would say they're primarily going to be baseball.
Yeah.
We're still in that spot to where trying to build the softball. We've got it, and I hate to. We're in a spot to where like I'll push out a lot of baseball stuff.
Yeah.
And then the softball parents are like, "Where's the softball stuff?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying. I promise.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some more softball instructors, more softball offerings, because it's it's fairly big in the area.
Yeah.
So it's something that parents are looking for. Shout out to the Ghost Unlimited.
That's right. This episode of DBAT Podcast brought to you by the 2026 Ghost Unlimited.
아무것도 모르면서 그래도 wanna more more 전혀 신경 안 써 오히려 Not like it but we so nasty 아무것도 필요 없이 모르면 저기 멀리서 So watch us right 빠짐없이 보여줄게 내가 어떤 나를 믿게 모든 내 것처럼 갖고 놀래
And if you check in the description, we do have some in stock, so if you need some. We're right in that same sort of makeup where the majority of the lessons here are baseball. And we do have our softball girls for sure. I always go back and forth on like putting that extra effort in to try to push softball. And we definitely, the Ghost Unlimited.
Yeah.
Get yours today.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do stuff like that all the time, right? But I almost feel like the makeup of the area, so there's just a lot more baseball in the area to begin with. So to try to stunt one area to really put more effort into both, there's only so much time during the day and so much. Yeah. There's only so much that you can do, which we love our softballers. We really do. We love you guys. And we've had Monica Abbott in the building. We do things for our softballers, but, I think that makeup, I almost wonder is just don't worry too much about it.
Right.
I don't know what you think about that, about putting in the extra effort into doing things like that. I know Kyle Wilson out of Frisco. That's why I was talking with him a little bit, and he's like, we do mostly baseball. Mm-hmm. That's just the makeup of the area, and so that's what we cater to.
Yeah, and that's been one thing that has we had a really good softball instructor that built up a lot of lessons. So I'm kind of in the spot where I need to add to the team to kind of fill that void because we'll have people ask about the softball lessons. The toughest thing to find, and I'm sure every DBAT is in the same spot because if you've got one, you hold on to them forever, is a softball pitching instructor.
Yeah.
Because those are very, very sought after.
Yeah.
If somebody's good at it, people are going to stick with them.
Yeah.
So that's been the biggest question as far as, hey, do you guys give softball pitching lessons?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, like, while we're completely we're different sports, but a baseball guy can go in and teach baseball hit or a softball hitting and softball fielding. But when you get into that underhand softball pitching, it's just a whole new world.
Yeah.
It feels like a completely different game.
Yeah. Hey, guys, if you're watching this and you ever thought about being an instructor in the Bowling Green area,
Absolutely.
hit him up. All of his socials in the description below. All right. So one more time. How long have you actually been general manager?
So since around October of 24, so a year and some change now.
So from going from AGM to general manager, what are some of the biggest responsibilities that you've taken on that maybe you didn't expect? Has there ever been like I don't know about what's happening here,
Yeah, and there's been, we're very grateful and knock on wood that our line of business does not come with too many, upset customers and clients.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've both dealt with something in the past.
Yeah.
Granted, it happens. It's going to happen in any kind of line of business, but that part, as far as handling those situations, being the go-to person for everything, even as an AGM, I would still get phone calls while being home or whatever. But I think that part, and then also personnel, as far as who we've got on staff. Now I'm doing all the hiring, that kind of thing, and keeping our people happy as far as that goes. But I think the biggest aspect has just been, now I'm the one who makes the decisions.
Yeah.
So it's, I would always have a say in what we would do previously, but now it's, hey, Seth, what do you think we should do here? Instead of me maybe giving a suggestion, it's me making the decision, kind of thing. So
yeah. Well, going into kind of the work-life balance, because pull the curtain, what's it look like to be a general manager of a DBAT? It is, so in my case, it's pretty all-consuming, which I love it. I choose to do it.
Absolutely.
Now, I know our situations are a little bit different. I have no kiddos. I am single. Mr. Seth here, married man or engaged?
Yeah, we're engaged.
Engaged.
We've kind of been pushing it off for a while. We've been engaged for a while, but we've been together for 6 years. We have 3 kids.
Okay.
We have all 3 boys.
And congratulations on all of this.
Thank you. It's been hectic at times, but there's you got to find the balance at times. It's one of my, and if Kelsey, if you're watching, I love you. One of my New Year's resolutions that I really wrote down was trying to be more present, with the family. It's always a tough thing when not, dogging the job at all or whatever, but there are times where I'll get phone calls or need to go in whenever I really don't want to, or when I'm trying to spend some time with family. So that's been the tough part of the job, but at the same time, the job that I have at our place is very flexible as far as I might be able to go pick the kids up from the babysitter if I need to, kind of thing. It's been hectic, but my oldest boy, Oliver, he'll be 5 in, what did I say, the third? He'll be 5 in 12 days. So now we're getting into some T-ball, and they love to come to the facility and hang out. So not going to be that person that just pushes it on his kids by any means. But no, I think it's going to start to become more fun as they get older and can hang around with Dad at the facility a little bit more.
So as you're moving forward with, your facility, as you guys grow, as you guys develop, also internally as like the team will develop as well, what does your ideal makeup look like of like, so currently I think you're running without an assistant general manager. So we're the same here at DBAT Evansville. In mind with, I want to have time for my family. I got to get a workout in there. I want to be present. I want to do things, maybe go golfing.
Yeah.
How are you going to make that happen? What's your vision look like?
Man, it's tough, but at the same time, I think And if this is what you want to do down the future, your entire mindset changes whenever you become a father. I know you hear that from all dads or whatever, but it truly is the truth. I'm going to do whatever it takes to provide for my family and get the time. So I think at the end of the day, as far as work goes, I've got a pretty good staff where I feel comfortable being able to leave the building for the most part. Now, do I wish I had a right-hand man? Yes, to be able to maybe take some responsibilities off of me, but at the same time, I'm very ingrained in what we do at our place. So it's tough to be able to step away and allow somebody else to take the reins. Because I have a specific way I like to do things. But at the end of the day, I think as long as I'm in the building for our important things and the busy times, I think we're good. Like on a Wednesday evening, when right there in the middle of the week we get pretty busy. So if I'm able to kind of be there and float and be able to answer questions or anything like that, and then hopefully we'll see as life gets busier when they get older for t-ball practice, or if we play basketball or whatever. We'll see how that changes. But I think at the end of the day, it's one of those, you find out what works for you kind of thing. So
I've been putting more effort into trying to make DBAT like part of the social life of everyone who comes in here as well. Because we have the feeling, I almost want to make it feel like a country club.
Right.
So when someone walks in the doors, I want them hanging out like, hey, they got a lesson, but they're still hanging out, like chatting. Like we got parents who chat by the pitching machines, and they're shooting the and having a good time. I think that culture, and I think that's something that being the general manager, there's sort of like that flexibility of where you can really set work up, like running one of these facilities. Not only that it's like beneficial for the business and for the members, but like it's going to help your instructor mindset. It's going to help you your front desk staff, like you as a general manager. I think that's so important, and I think the best of the best DBATs, they do that really well.
Right. And we've always talked, we want it to be an environment where a kid comes in and maybe they get lessons with me while I'm in a cage or whatever, but I want them to be able to mess around with this person in that cage or that instructor over there or our desk staff. So like we try to do something very similar to where, everybody knows everybody kind of thing. I want everybody to know each other by name and be able to, have those conversations and how's the family doing rather than how are we playing on the field kind of thing. So. Yeah. And I think definitely seasonaling. So that's one thing that I had thought about. Like, when season's ramping up, like people are more about their business, which is amazing to see, right? We want to see the hard workers. We want to see the swings. We want to see the throws. But those off-season times can be really hard to weather. So coming up with ideas like that, I know Chris will get mad at me. He's like, stick to the revenue streams. I'm like, man, come on, we're going to have some cornhole, something. Absolutely.
Okay, so outside, so we'll say extend it from personal growth, where do you see DBAT Bowling Green going? What's your vision for your facility?
Man, I think at the end of the day, it's kind of the same as what we've tried to keep it as, but just touching on it and growing on it and being just that go-to place around the area for anything baseball, softball. Whether that be buying some new gear like the Easton Ghost Unlimited, or whether that be your lessons or your camp days. The leagues using us as a resource for things. So I think at the end of the day, it's all about continuing to grow the game in the area. And one thing that we've tried to harp on, not to take away from any kind of travel baseball by any means, but kind of a vision that I've had is focusing a little bit more on the local leagues, because we're in such a weird gray area when it comes to the world of baseball, youth baseball and softball right now, to where I think the idea that I've got is if we can better the leagues and better the kids and the players and the coaches, having coaches out there who know what they're talking about, having players who are confident going out there playing. If we better the leagues, the game in general is gonna be better. And grow. You know what I mean? So
I think you're right on on the mark with kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like the culture, like if I was a kid in DBAT and then like around these guys who have played in college, like that's going to rub off. And then if you can take your guys out to the leagues, it's going to work that same way. What are some things that you guys do with your local leagues that you think are kind of unique?
So one thing that we do, and we actually will host or try to host. If you can get out to a field, get out to a field.
Yeah.
But for like, we've got actually the next 2 weeks we've got coming up. We're going to host the entire county softball league hosting their preseason evaluations. So ideally, every single player that is registered through the league will walk through those doors. Through the next couple weeks. So we provide that space, but that night we will have a table set up where we're offering, and this is a lot, probably more than we should, but we offer every single player a free evaluation lesson.
Oh, that's great.
As well.
That's cool.
Granted, it's a lot. Again, if you get, say, 200 kids at, that it's a lot of. I don't want to look at it as a money aspect, but it is a lot of money that we're offering the leagues, and hopefully they see that to where we're creating that relationship. But
well, not only that, like they're getting seen by an instructor, by someone who's been around baseball and softball. So it's a little bit, I'm not knocking the dads, that work in the leagues. We love y'all. That's the dad and the moms. Come on.
Yep.
That's what make the leagues tick, but it's just a whole different thing when you've had someone around the game their entire life.
Yeah, and one thing we've done too is in the past, I probably need to reach out and see if they want some updated stuff, but I kind of spearheaded, we have one specific league in town, the county Pee Wee League, for those kids just starting out.
Yeah.
Kind of the 8U players, the 5 to 8 year olds. I went through and created like a video series, almost like something you can find on YouTube.
Yeah.
As far as here's some drills and kind of allowing the coaches to have a resource. So like they posted on their website. So every coach who has to go through, their online stuff, I know they'll do like background checks and all that thing on the coaches, but while they're in there doing that stuff, they've got to watch these videos, and it's me at DBAT showing you, some drills that you can use and stuff. That way the guys aren't out there just teaching nonsense, not to dog on anybody, but we hear it all the time. This coach has never played a day in their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're volunteers. They're supplying their time and away from their families to do what they're doing. But we've created that resource for coaches and leagues to be able to look at and use to help out.
So that's great, because that lets me talk about the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
So your online presence, everyone has been waiting there like, do I recognize this guy? So I've seen your YouTube stuff, a lot of shorts, and I'll be honest, the longer videos are pretty fun to watch.
We'll for the next next segment.
So on your YouTube channel, you have pushing 17,000 subscribers?
Yeah, right around there. And while you're on it, I'll go through all of them. I think right around 17 on YouTube, 11 or 12,000 on Instagram.
Okay.
And then TikTok's kind of where it blew up. We're approaching the 54,000 mark.
Oh, man.
On TikTok.
That's wild.
So it's been fun.
I'm aging myself because I'm not on TikTok. This is something I need to be better at. I'm trying to develop and evolve. Okay, this is why he's here helping me.
TikTok's kind of where it all started. So I'll go down that little rabbit hole. As we were in college, I was always the person who was like, junior, senior years, whenever TikTok kind of started to go through the COVID. I graduated college in 2020. So, COVID, everybody hopped on TikTok. I was the one like, I'm not downloading that. Then I did, and I was, just watching videos and everything. And I would see the guys like the Austin Schultz, Eric Sim, all the personality guys in the baseball world. And we had a couple days where I was never a person to do stuff like this and be on camera or anything. If you ask anybody that knows me, I was a very to myself and quiet person.
Yeah.
But I think this has kind of helped me get out of my shell just a little bit. I still, and I told you before, I still will rarely, if ever, do a video while there are people in the building.
Yeah.
So, we open at 10 o'clock on the weekdays. I'm in there at 8:30 doing my videos before we open, to kind of get it out of the way. But it just happened like that. I used TikTok and posted a few videos. One was with some silly fun, sunglasses and all the gear and the travel baseball dad, and kind of picking fun at, this is very over exaggerated and stereotypical.
Oh yeah,
These aren't real people.
Yeah.
But picking fun at that world, and it kind of, one video gained some traction, specifically comparing travel baseball versus rec baseball and the parents. So once that took off, it was, let me stay in this lane and just keep kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
And here we are. I'm still trying to grow it some more, but.
And so most of your videos are the short format. Mm-hmm. Like, have you thought about what? So first off, what do you think makes a successful short video? Can you remember the very first short video that you made, and how you would compare it to the videos that you're making now? And what have you learned?
I think at the beginning, so just to touch on kind of what makes a short form is going to be those first few seconds.
Yeah.
Retention is everything when it comes to that world, and even myself, my attention span is not very good in the world of social media now. But those first few seconds, if you show something or do something funny or have that hook at the very beginning, that's kind of what keeps people watching, kind of thing. If you start out just with a lot of, say, delay or dead space in the beginning, I'm just going to swipe away.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of that first little bit as far as trying to get somebody to latch on. And at the beginning, it was, I don't remember my first one, but some of the first ones were kind of like different types of parents at DBAT dropping the kid off for a lesson. Yeah. You've got the mom who just drops and says, see y'all later. And then you've got the dad who's just over there on his phone. Yep. Or you got the one that literally gets in the cage with the guy. So it's kind of comparing the different ones and the stereotypes on that. And then the one thing people might know me from is also, the glasses, but then also the pool noodles, if anybody has ever seen those. The funny story behind those is, the stand-in batters that you can, our guys didn't want to spend, $500 on those. So
you put a pool noodle
we got
out
a
there?
tee, and put a pool noodle, there's our batter. That's where Jimmy and Johnny came from. And one of the first videos that I messed around with were the travel dad versus the rec parent. The rec parent not really knowing what they want or what they're doing, and they've got this random bat that might not even be the right fit for the kid.
Yeah.
And then you've got the travel dad who's going overseas to play games and everything else. But one of the things that I've done in some of the travel videos, and to catch that attention, and something I've kept on with, will literally be me walking through the front door with 2 sets of sunglasses off, taking one off just to reveal another pair of sunglasses. So that's been a kind of a trademark of some of my videos, to where what is this guy doing? He just took off glasses. So they're going to stay for the video and kind of watch it. So that first few seconds is pretty key. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is, like, all the stuff that you're talking about, there's always a hint of like truth to it. Mm-hmm. And those are like not the specific people, but the dads, the moms that are in the facility. And I think DBAT is kind of a gold mine for that, where we have real people in here, like day-to-day people, like we're talking, making relationships, and those silly little things do happen. Like everyone has their quirks. And
it's funny because we, I'll get some of the dads in there, and they've seen the videos, and they'll mess with me about if I release a new video. They'll be like, that one was about me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, not at all, dude. But on the same note, like, we'll get the ones, and again, kind of creating that DBAT environment. I've literally had a parent text me, and DBAT has Easton Rawlings. Shout out to Easton Rawlings. But I've had a dad reach out one time, and he got his kid like the Louisville Slugger Supra, one of the limited editions or whatever. Yeah. And he literally texted me and was like, "Hey, I got this for Parker's Christmas. Do you want to use it in a video?" So like we've got that connection now, to where some of the parents will literally offer, like, "I want to see a video of you making this, with my stuff." Yeah. So
do you have a favorite video that you've made?
Not necessarily. No? I think the one
that blew up.
You're like, I was about to say that one. There's one specific that I kind of go back and see, and I think it's pinned to the top of my TikTok profile. But it was probably the first one where I really threw on the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Had some pit vipers that literally I found in our Lost and Found.
Yeah.
Just threw those on real quick, and it was me with Jimmy and Johnny. Really, their first appearance, I think, would probably be my favorite as far as what I've made so far. But
So are you dabbling at all in long form?
I actually am a little bit. I think my channel will be linked in the description.
Oh yeah,
but-
we're gonna link it, and we'll get a shout out to all the tags, the ads at the end of the video. So stay tuned.
On YouTube, I've tried to dabble a little bit as far as making some long form. The tough part on long form is going to be using the right gear, I think, and then the editing as well. So like, and I know we've talked a little bit about editing, but like something like shorts, you can film it on your iPhone. Not saying you can't do YouTube on your iPhone or whatever, but shorts, I've got a tripod, iPhone, record it, and I just cut it to where I need to.
Yeah.
But when you get into like long form YouTube, I feel like you probably want to have a camera, a mic setup, and then some kind of program to add the effects and stuff that kind of keeps that attention. I feel like things like a Ryan Trahan, if you know what I'm talking about on the YouTube side. He's not baseball affiliated, but his style works because that's kind of what he's more of just a cut and easy going type thing.
Yeah.
But then you've got people like D-Sarm on YouTube for baseball and Eric Sim and those guys who they'll have the challenge videos and you'll have the sound effects, the different angles of everything.
It's a whole different production.
So it's been a learning experience, and I think a lot more goes into long form than short. So like I'll try, the challenge stuff. I've had one video on YouTube long form has gotten like 30,000 views, which is
that's amazing.
Pretty good for a 10 to 15 minute long video.
Yeah.
And it was me. I think it was. I can't remember which one it is, to be honest. It was either. I did one that was trying.
Was it the bat challenges?
I think so. One of those to where it got. See, now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, I got you.
One was where I bought like Amazon products.
Yep.
That one got about 10,000 views, and then what was my other one? I'm blanking on it. Okay, so I've got it here. I beat you to it a little bit. The can I hit a home run at every level of baseball?
Gotcha.
So where I started out with a T-ball bat, and worked my way up off of the hit tracks that we had in D-bat.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm super curious. So the vlog style was really fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And guys, you got to go check his channel out. So on YouTube, it's at Seth Odell. And so what we're trying to do here with the DBAT podcast, just the DBAT YouTube channel, is I really want to deep dive into that style of content and invite everyone in the DBAT family, whether it be DBAT Bowling Green, DBAT Avon. I'm just naming DBATs that are around here, right? Wherever you're at, if you want to contact us, we can host videos, and then I would challenge you to make your own channel, and then we can simultaneously add those up and make it a feedback loop. DBAT Evansville, we're going to be putting up a bunch of content on the channel, so it's just at DBAT on YouTube. And the podcast, I'm hoping, is going to be a staple series of that channel that I can have other general managers and we can help promote you, right? And then everyone benefits in the long run, I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm. And you get instructors and, the guys who do a big, like the instructors of the year.
Everything.
And, see, you can pick their brain on, how'd you do it.
Maybe we'll get Cade and Kyle in here, and then there's like 4 other Kyles in the day.
Yeah.
What is going on? Why are there so many Kyles?
Got a brother-in-law named Kyle.
Hey, I'm guilty. So, but that's long form content. It's going to be definitely challenging. I mean, I'm kind of in the thick of it now. Yeah, the editing is super challenging. It's very tedious. It takes a long time.
I can definitely see why some of these guys have like teams. And stuff that they.
Oh yeah.
Because a one man show, even on I'm trying to do just CapCut, or I finally downloaded like DaVinci Resolve and tried to mess around with it a little bit. But at the same time, whenever I'm thinking of doing stuff, I kind of put myself in the shoes of what do I like to watch.
Yeah.
and I'm sure you do the same. You know, I like to watch some of these guys, so I pick up on, okay, what kind of edits are they making, or what are they making that is wanting me to stay for this video, or like with a podcast, who are they having on where I want to listen, or what are they doing differently, or different segments or whatever. So.
And that's the challenge, keeping it interesting. So, all right, here, I'll challenge you here. So if you were gonna make a new video, and you may already have one in the cooker, I don't know. So if you had a premise for a short and a premise for a long form video, what would those premises be?
Do you need the two to correlate together, or are you just saying different?
Ooh, I was thinking as a separate, so if these were two separate series, because that's to make shorts from a long, like that all has to be baked in. But I'm thinking more of like two separate series, not connected.
Sure. So touching on short, I think short likes series and characters.
Yes.
So like for me, the travel baseball dad, or I've had one on YouTube that got millions of views, was The Quiet Kid.
It's just millions.
So it's I think the characters and everything like that as far as shorts goes. And of course, my style is more, skit based on the short stuff. So it's the baseball stereotypes and stuff like that. So I think I'll probably do some character type work or series and on the short form. And then as far as long form, I'll reveal a video idea that I have in my notes that I want to do. So there was a trend going, and it was mainly short the past few weeks, where people were saying 2026 is going to be the new 2016, and I graduated high school in 2016. I'm going to open the yearbook here, but that was my era, 2016. So I had a thought of doing like 2016 versus 2026, and trying to get some old gear and play it up against some of these new 2026 style stuff. So that's one line of challenge type videos that I'd like to try out. Another one is like facility tours and things like that. Oh man. Okay. So, but as I was thinking that, so you know how they used to do MTV Cribs? Yeah. Could you imagine? Yep. And one that I've got I really want to do, and I talked to Jake, the GM at Dallas Fort Worth. Shout out Jake. I talked with him at the owners meeting when I ran into him about one video idea that I had was, how many DBAT locations can I visit in one day?
Okay.
That'd be a fun, just fly to Dallas, because they're all in Dallas, and just try to hit 10 or 12 of them in a day.
Yeah, there's a hotbed there.
So doing a quick little, here's DBAT DFW. All right, now I got to go down the road to Longview, or I don't even know if that's close. But there's so many in Texas.
In Texas.
But yeah, that's another one. I feel like those like challenge type videos and something that you can kind of, at the beginning, he's going to do this. Let me stay till the end to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing for long form.
If you guys have any suggestions, so we're always trying to evolve, make this interactive and better and make it grow. If you have any suggestions on what type of videos you want to see, let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll make it happen. So the social media stuff, I think, is specifically YouTube. I mean, TikTok, all these channels, DBAT I think is super underrepresented. And I think we have a big chance to kind of facilitate that and really take DBAT to more of like the brand recognition on a national level. I mean, it's already big, but I think it's set to really skyrocket.
And especially with like the instructor side of it too, I think. Yeah. So you'll see so many guys that I've even had a couple, not a lot, but because I don't do instruction style videos, but like I've had one or two kids that have drove an hour to get a lesson with me just because they saw videos. Yeah. So it's like I've seen a couple guys, and like you said, I feel like it's very underrepresented right now as far as when I see the DBAT logo on any kind of socials, I stay and watch because I'm like, I want to see what you're doing, that kind of thing. But guys like, I'll name drop here a little bit, but I know Aaron in DBAT Troy, Michigan. He's got a couple 100,000 followers on across platforms. He does a lot of like POV style content, like playing in the men's league, that kind of thing. But he's also at DBAT, and I think he's one of the AGMs at Troy, Michigan.
Okay.
So that kind of thing. There's a new guy that popped up in a new location in around the Boise, Idaho area that I've been following a little bit. So I think it's a very opportunistic space to where we can kind of grow these guys. But.
Yeah. I mean, there are superstars in the DBAT world and family already. So, as a general manager, I'm always thinking of how we can promote and push our instructors and how we can get the word out.
That's like your guy Connor here, right? I feel like I've seen some
Connor
of his
Porter.
Stuff.
Shout out to pitching coach Connor Porter. Yeah, he's a social media guy. Maybe he'll be on the podcast here soon. We never know. But these guys absolutely are superstars, and the more that we can promote them, and they can help essentially push the DBAT name as well. If they're growing their brand within DBAT, it's just going to only help DBAT.
Yeah, and I always tell everybody too, no matter what, I feel like I've been a very big brand ambassador as far as the DBAT brand goes. And what I mean by that is kind of, people know me as kind of the DBAT guy or whatever, but at the same time, people will be like, do you have this? Or like, where are you located? And every time that I answer the question, I'm like, hey, I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky, but there's 200 plus locations across the country.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to come to me. Go see, Kyle in Evansville or whoever.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm always trying to, like, if someone walks in the door and they're like, man, we'd be members, but it's too far. I'm like, where are you guys at?
Right.
Hey, did you know there's a DBAT there? And if you have a membership with one of us.
Exactly. And that's like, any time that I'm, like I said, answering that question, or like one thing that I've done, and I like to dabble in it a little bit more is kind of the live stream world of it. It's a touchy area. Well, you don't want something going wrong during a live, but at the same time, I'll get so many people. I'll just kind of be walking around the facility talking, and they're like, "Where are you at?" Or "Where is this place?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, we're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, but head to DBAT, search up DBAT locations. It'll tell you which one is closest to you." So I feel like we can all work together in the DBAT world and help grow each other.
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to touch on that as well. So social media is one thing, being connected like that, having maybe a hub through the DBAT YouTube channel. I'd like to see DBAT locations collaborate on events. Mm-hmm. So, we're close enough. Like Lexington is pretty close to here. Nashville is pretty close to here. We have Avon, Zionsville around the Indy area. If we were going to be able to do a collaboration on an event, in your mind, what would something like that look like? I have a few ideas of my own.
Sure.
But what do you think about that idea?
I think it'd be awesome. And I think that almost looks like bringing in some big names.
Yes.
On kind of a, call it a DBAT tour, if you may. But, and actually to touch on that, we actually have, and you may have seen, and I don't know if y'all have had him here, but have you seen Mr. Turtle Thomas?
I don't recognize Turtle Thomas.
So his name's Henry Thomas. He goes by Turtle.
Okay.
But he's actually a very well-known collegiate coach. And was in the Texas Rangers organization, I believe, as like a roving scout.
Okay.
But he was actually with the University of Miami on the coaching staff when they won the World Series in '99. Okay. And then went back-to-back when he was on the LSU staff in 2000. So he's got kind of this, a lot of accolades to him. But I've seen where he's been at other locations. And if you're watching this soon enough, Mr. Turtle Thomas will be stopping by Valentine's weekend at DBAT Bowling Green. But he actually called me up and kind of did his own legwork there. He just goes all over the country doing stuff, drives an RV around, and he's going to be in Memphis the weekend after us, so he was kind of trying to fill a weekend. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, man, we'll host you. So he's going to stop by Bowling Green Valentine's weekend to host a couple camp options. Very cool. To get some high-level instruction from a known collegiate coach.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, things like that, dude.
Well, I had one idea, and I'd like to invite you, and I'd like to potentially invite the DBAT Bowling Green family. So MLB, and maybe you guys have heard of this, MLB does pitch, hit, and run competitions. And so we have applied, and we have been approved, and we're going to be running an event March 28th at DBAT Evansville. And that might be close enough. I would like you, I'll invite you to be in the facility if you have the time, potentially tell your community. And then these competitions, essentially what they are is exactly what they sound like, right? Have you heard of these MLB pitches?
So, not to steal your thunder, corporate reached out last year. We were one of the locations that ran one, not in here. We went out to the local minor league park.
Okay.
They facilitated everything, so they signed up through the Bowling Green Hot Rods as the team. So they were the host. We were the staff.
Okay.
So myself, our instructors, we were the ones to facilitate out on the field. You know, the score sheets and everything like that.
So how did it go?
It was good, man. We were unfortunate, had some weather. Which is why we want to get them in here to DBAT. But still, I believe there was about 150, 160 kids signed up, and still about 100 had showed up for the day. And we were able to go through with it. It was not a lot. I mean, it was ran pretty well. You know, we're just sitting there writing down the times and the scores for the kids. And I think after the fact, when people left the stadium, they came to our place and hit a little bit.
There you go.
So it was advantageous for us to be out there. So.
And for the people who don't know, so pitch, hit, and run competition is essentially 3 events that, and this is a completely free event to sign up for, to attend. And so essentially there's a pitching event where you have a target that you throw out. Based on your accuracy, you'll get a score ranking. And let me know if I'm getting any of this wrong. You've already done it. We're still preparing. There's a hitting event where it's all based on distance. So us being inside, we're able to use our hit tracks. And then, you get points based on your age group and then how far you hit it. And then the run where you run, I think it's a 90 feet.
I believe so. Yep.
You get first base. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
Baseball. So they run, you get your speed and you get a score, and then you tally it all up. What is cool and what I'm trying to do, my goal, is if you, and I don't know if you were a qualified event. I think that's how the terminology.
I believe it was.
So if it's hosted at a minor league facility or like through a team, you're already qualified for a pre-qualified event. We are not at one of those facilities, so our event has to have 175 pre-registered players for us to qualify. Whenever you qualified, no questions asked. I think the top scorers all advance to the next round. So essentially they get a bye on going through the regional competition already to the next round. Eventually those winners will get a chance to compete to go to the World Series and compete. And so how cool would it be if we can make this event big enough that no matter what, someone in the facility that we had here is going to advance to the next level. So that's our goal, and I'm hoping we can collaborate with different DBAT locations if it's possible to get a bunch of people in here. I may have something in the works that we're going to try to have guests. I don't know. Well, that is still to be determined and announced. But I'm going to leave the registration in the description. We'd love for you guys to join us. So it'll be broken up by age groups. March 28th, save the date. We want to see you guys around. I'll tell you what. So, Seth, first I want to say thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that you came and visited us. I hope this was worthwhile and fun for you. I got to return the favor. If you came down here, I got to make it out to DBAT Bowling Green.
Always welcome, dude.
And maybe in the future we'll have another podcast live from the DBAT Bowling Green studio. I want to start a ending tradition, and we'll see how this goes. Let me see here. So it's a closing question. If you could pick one favorite moment from your baseball career or as a fan watching, what would it be?
So I'm going to go with, I already know it right off the bat. This would be while playing. So every year in high school, we took a spring break trip over to Myrtle Beach, and we played at the Ripken Experience out there every year in high school. And it was my sophomore year. And at our school, I know it's might be different elsewhere, but rarely you would have young guys making varsity. So sophomore year, I made varsity. I did not my freshman year. And there was only maybe 4 or 5 of us that made it as sophomores. We had a big senior class that year of like 14 guys. But anyways, we were there, and I kind of made my way onto the starting squad there. And again, this is my first, spring break trip with the guys, and so out at the fields, we're going into extras, and we're the home team, so we can have the potential to walk it off. But I come up to bat, and again, I'm sophomore. All these older guys are playing, and I'm kind of the youngest one on the playing side of things, anyways. But I pull the ball down the line, left field line, and the left fielder dives for it at the line, and it gets past him, and it's on turf. So that thing's just rolling to the wall.
Yeah.
And I am running as hard as I can. Coach is running, just waving me past third base, and he's running alongside with me. He probably beat me home because I was so tired at the end of it. But I had a inside the park walk-off home run in Myrtle Beach to win that game, and it was kind of probably one of the best, most fun times.
Amazing.
Anyways, as a player.
Amazing. So, Seth, where can the people find you at?
If y'all, I know even Kyle had the question here of what's up with the Odell part in my name, but if you go to @SethOdell on a lot of things, I think Instagram is Seth.Odell. Just one L. I'm not named after Odell Beckham Jr. He would have been probably 10 years old when I was born, so I'm not named after him. But my middle name is Odell, so @SethOdell for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I think that's about it. So yeah, y'all go follow, come along with the journey. Let's grow together and keep having fun.
Seth, thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank all of you.
And thank you to Easton for sponsoring this video with
That's
the
right.
Ghost Unlimited.
Ghost Unlimited 2026. All right. Well, what do we think?
We got an hour in there, didn't we?